There are mainly three ways to motivate workers. First is financial factors, second is non-financial factors, and finally we have job satisfaction. Starting off with financial factors. There are mainly two types of financial factors that motivate workers, which are wages and salaries respectively. Wages refer to a form of payment for work which is usually paid weekly. The advantages of wages include the fact that it is paid on a regular basis and employees don't have to wait for too long. Another advantage is that wage receivers often get overtime payment, so it acts as an incentive for overtime. The disadvantages include that it is time-consuming for the business as it needs to be paid on a regular basis. This makes the process time-consuming and expensive. Wages can be calculated in a number of ways. We'll be discussing two of them today. First is the time rate, where workers are paid for the time they put in for work, and the next is piece rate, where the payment is determined by the output produced by the workers. Both scenarios have advantages and disadvantages. Let's take a look at all of them. As for the time rate, advantages include the fact that it is relatively easier to calculate, as all the employer has to do is take into account the number of hours the worker has put in. The disadvantages start off with the fact that it is time-consuming because hours calculation might be easy, but the system takes time. Moreover, one big drawback is that in time rate payments, everyone is paid the same if they put in the same hours. The quality and quantity of work does not play a role here. Both good and bad employees get the same payment if the hours they put in are same. And lastly, it is expensive as supervisors are needed to oversee the workers. As for piece rate, the big advantage of this method is that it results in faster production, as everyone aims to produce more because their pay depends on it. However, because of this, the quality of production is put at risk. Workers go for quantity over quality, well, because, like I said, their payment depends on it. As for the other disadvantages, this method is also time-consuming and expensive as the process is done regularly and supervisors are required to oversee production. And that was all from wages. Moving on, we'll be discussing the other form of financial reward, which is salaries. Salaries is a monthly payment for employees. It is usually paid directly to a bank account and more often than not paid to white-collar workers like office staffs and management. One of the biggest advantages of salaries is that it is relatively easier to calculate because it is paid monthly. Moreover, workers are given other financial benefits on top of salaries as well, which we'll be discussing in just a minute. As for the disadvantages, the workers get paid only once a month, unlike wages which are paid regularly. Another major problem is that extra work is usually not paid for in the case of white-collar employees. However, it's not a rule written in stones. It can vary from company to company. One great thing about salaries that I just touched while discussing the advantages is the fact that you get additional rewards as well on top of the salaries. There are mainly 5 types of additional rewards, which are as follows. First of all, we have commission, which is often paid to sales staff. It is similar to piece rate, where the salesperson is paid an amount for every sale he or she makes. This acts as an encouragement for the sales staff. Next, we have profit sharing, where the employees receive a share of the profits on top of their basic salary. After that, we have a common reward, which is bonus. It is a lump sum paid to workers when they have worked well. Similar to that is performance-related pay, where again employee pay is linked to the effectiveness of their work. To assess their work, businesses often use a system of appraisal. Appraisal refers to a process where the employee's superiors observe their work, talks to their peers, and carries an interview to discuss progress and effectiveness. Based on this report, training is provided, and if the employee deserves a reward, they are paid accordingly. And lastly, we have share ownership, where employees are given some shares in the company in an attempt to encourage them to work harder, as they are now part owners as well. And with this, we conclude the financial rewards to motivation.